Welcome back, fellow toy fans, for another episode of Trey the Terrible Collector. Thank you for joining me on this journey. This is our third episode, and we will be digging into some more Toy Biz classics from 1991. Last week, you got to see us rip open Nightcrawler and Apocalypse. Very cool. And this week, we will be tearing into some new figures. We've got Colossus and Storm. Okay, first up today, we are going to be looking at the Russian mutant Pyotr Rasputin, also known as Colossus. Colossus joined the team along with Nightcrawler, Storm, Wolverine, and some others in Giant Size X-Men #1 by Chris Claremont. That was also his first appearance. Very cool character. His skin transforms into living organic steel, almost impossible to be hurt, super strong. And he's a cool character in the fact that he's got a lot of dichotomy in his personality. He is a gentle pacifist and an artist at heart, but he has a very aggressive superpower, which leads people to put him at the forefront of some of the more violent situations. Some pretty cool box art over here. Dynamic pose depicting him using his super strength. Over here we have the power lift action. And up in the left-hand corner, again, you have the faces of all of the heroes who are going to appear in this series. Colossus, at this point in time, was a member of the team with Storm and Wolverine. So let's go ahead and dig in. Be careful not to destroy anything here. This one did come with Colossus figure, so we'll get to that in a second. And here we have Colossus. Now we talked a little bit earlier in the show about how the quality of the accessories and the abilities of the heroes varied wildly. And this is something that you will see as the series progresses as well. A lot of your bigger, bulkier characters have almost no articulation. You can see there's no bend in the knees, no bend in the elbows. His wrists are flat out so that he can lift this, but he can't do any punching or anything like that. He also can't move his arms independently, so you have kind of this motion. That's really all he can do. And he comes with this big weight, which I guess is cool looking, but what's he gonna do? Some curls? Until his opponents are so impressed with his strength that they just give up? No, that's ridiculous. But he is very, very strong. So, this one is, it's a cool look. It's a cool sculpt. The head looks really cool, but in terms of what you can actually do with it, this one is a little bit disappointing. And here we have our card, and you know what that means. Did you know that Colossus has a son that he fathered in the Savage Land, which to this day remains a mystery to him? Okay, next up we have Storm, also known as Aurora Monroe. She joined the team in Giant Size X-Men #1. Her powers of weather manipulation led her to be searched out by Professor Xavier. She was being worshipped as a goddess at the time, so we've got some really cool art over here showcasing her look, and then her figure, if you can see through, is really kind of reminiscent, very reminiscent of the picture we have here, very similar. Interestingly, the X-Men were a team that had a ton of female heroes. Storm, Rogue, Jean Grey, Jubilee, Psylocke. I could continue for a long time, but for the longest time, even though there was an animated series going on at the same time, this was the only female superhero that we got in the series. And eventually Storm did get a couple of repaints to get a cape and things like that, but she still didn't really get another figure for quite a while. She has a power glow action. I'm interested to see if that will still work. It's like a really old battery in there, so we will see. Let's go ahead and tear this one open. A card slipping out the bottom here. This card is the Juggernaut, so we'll get to that here in a second. There you go. A little bit of damage from the tape, but otherwise pretty good. Cool. Oof, tape is so old, it just crumbled in my hand. All right, so that's a pretty cool sculpt on the lightning bolt. I know obviously she doesn't carry a lightning bolt, but that does give for some like cool dynamic poses where she can be seen controlling the weather. We'll work on it. A little bit stiff. The hair being attached to the back does make it a little bit difficult to maneuver and move her head around. But she does have some pretty good articulation. And you've got your trigger right here in the back on her hair, so let's see if it works. Absolutely not. Nothing. Well, I suppose that's not a surprise. But all in all, very cool figure. And over here we have our card of the Juggernaut, which means it's time for... Did you know that the Juggernaut once gave up his mission of vengeance against Charles Xavier, his stepbrother, and joined the X-Men so that he could help a young boy named Sammy to deal with his mutant powers? And there you have our latest additions to the Toy Biz Uncanny X-Men 1991 Series 1 set, Colossus and Storm. Be sure to join us next week. We'll be digging into a couple of new figures. We will be opening up Magneto and Archangel. If you're enjoying the content, we'd really appreciate it if you'd leave us a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave us some comments. We'd like to see what you would like to talk about. So thank you so much for joining us on this journey. You all have been wonderful. I have been terrible, and we'll see you again soon.